Hi everybody, my name is Jerry Wise. I'm a life and relationship coach. I've been helping people with self-differentiation and family systems for 45 years. And I want to thank you for joining me today. Today's video is the first of healing the 6 painful core issues for adult children of narcissists. And we're going to talk about that first painful core issue. Then I'm going to be doing other videos to cover the other issues. I'd like you, if you would, to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Please join as a paid member for $1.99 a month. You can help us support providing new and free videos for you at a small cost to you. And I thought if there were enough in the community and people have started to do this, it really helps to take the time to produce these videos and to help support that time in the production. I also have a workshop on February 6, 2021, Getting Your Family of Origin Out of You. And that will be on Saturday, and it will be hosted on Zoom. I hope you'll join us. If you want to get the workshop and the notes from that workshop but cannot attend, go ahead and sign up and you'll get them after the workshop. I did a video a while back entitled The 6 Painful Core Issues for Adult Children of Narcissists. And I will slip and say alcoholics versus narcissists because I work with both of those communities in helping them through their own recovery. And I hope you'll watch that video. Again, it's entitled The 6 Painful Core Issues of Adult Children of Narcissists. The first painful core issue is self-power shedding. We shed our power as adult children of narcissists. The narcissists shed their shame, and they will shed their shame on other people, particularly their children. And we then learn to shed our power. And so power shedding is a very important core issue for adult children of narcissists. And how do we shed our power? By discounting ourselves, internalizing systems feelings about ourselves. I am stupid and I should feel bad. I do everything wrong and I should feel guilty. We internalize the beliefs and the feelings from the system that we grew up in. We also internalize unhealthy roles. We take the role in our family and we continue to play it, oftentimes in a pendulum type of way. We give in and play the role, then we resist and try to stop playing the role, but we're doing that without a sense of self. And so we end up with pendulum life, I call it. From being nice to being angry. From being nice to being angry. From being compliant to cutting off and being reactive. Either of those are de-selfing and also power shedding. Being at the 90-degree mark is where we find ourselves truly being our authentic self and being a self. We also just downright feel powerless when we have grown up because as children, we had no choice. We were powerless and we had better fit in with the system or there's going to be some severe consequences. So as children, we learn to do that. The difficulty is we have taken that learning, that imprinting, that internalizing, and brought it to our adult life. And we've carried it with us on into adult life. The good news is we can learn to reparent ourselves, and maybe some of you have heard that term, reparenting. We can learn to bond with ourselves. We can also learn to refamily ourselves. And I'm going to talk about that in upcoming videos on these 6 core issues. Many times, adult children of narcissists will choose either no contact or low contact with their narcissistic family member. Not such an unwise decision, but we continue to use cutoffs, triangles, blaming, self-abandonment to function emotionally in the system. So even though, let's say I have a dad who's narcissistic, I can cut off from him and go, well, I'm just tired of dealing with him. He just drives me nuts. He discounts me. He doesn't care about me. I don't know that he's ever loved me. And so I'm just going to cut off from him. Well, the difficulty is we then often continue to function in triangles with other people. And we'll talk about dad with our siblings and blame dad. And again, blaming is never a good thing. Someone having a realistic view of things is okay. Your father may have been abusive. He may have been inappropriate. He may have been a narcissist. But to stay in the blaming state, it keeps the focus off ourselves, which is where we need to be. When we blame, the narcissist wins. And I want to make that point very clear. Coming out of denial is different than blaming. Seeing things in a realistic way is different than blaming. And maybe those family members have been very inappropriate, very toxic. I understand that. But blaming is not usually a very good emotional state, particularly within a family system's way of thinking. And so we decide to go low contact or no contact. And then we continue to blame, triangle with other siblings, other family members, and often abandon ourselves. We continue to do that, which continues our functioning in the narcissistic family system without changing our role in it, other than simply, and our emotional functioning in it, other than simply cutting off or going no contact. We don't, self-differentiation, true healing is not about simply behavior. It's about internal healing. And that's what I try to teach and preach when I do my videos. The internal healing is so important, not just what you do externally. We change our behavior, we distance ourselves, but it is important for us to heal and recover and learn to function emotionally different on the inside. That's where we may need a coach. That's where we may need to learn more, read more. An example of giving our power away. Parents are upset that you believe they were hurtful parents, or you believe mom was a narcissist. They hold to their distorted truth that they were caring and supportive parents, or discount your opinion of how they parented. Or they might give you, well, that was then, this is now. Now that you have now that they have grandchildren, now that you have children, well, that was then, this is now. And so we want to keep in good with you so we can be the golden grandparents for your children. But they take no responsibility, have no remorse, no affirmation of your beliefs or feelings, and now we're caught. Do I give my power away to agree with their feelings and beliefs? Because they've been a pretty powerful force in my life. Do I make nice? I go along to get along? Or do I give into some of that learned denial that I've always lived with, where I start to question myself and say, well, they did send Christmas presents to the kids, and, maybe I've just seen it. Maybe I'm just being too harsh on dad or too harsh on mom. And we begin to question ourselves. And those are ways in which we start shedding our power. And that's a part of power shedding. Or do I stand firm without reactivity and say, and I realize it's difficult to talk to narcissists at times, I'm talking about not necessarily saying all these words to a narcissist. What I'm trying to describe to you is the inner feeling and awareness that we want to have when we interact with them. And I think through this process, which I might even say, Mom and Dad, we see my childhood very differently. I know you can't fix this for me. However, I do feel it continues even today by you treating me like a wayward or stupid child with all of your negative ongoing comments and behaviors. I have to heal me. I know this, but my boundaries still stand, Mom and Dad. And again, they may be influencing your children in a negative way, like putting down other kids or putting down other relatives, and they do that with your children, and you've told them, don't do that. I don't want you bringing your opinions to my children that I believe are wrong, immature, inappropriate, and so please don't do that. And they continue to do it anyway. Accept and hold firm to your own personal power. You don't have power over them, which we often try to do. We try to get power over the narcissist because they've tried to they have gotten power over us. But that's not the way to get power. That's not the way to be empowered. We only have the power, but we have these powerful things to disagree, to set boundaries, to agree they see it differently, or to accept that they see it differently, to jump over the tennis net and try to change how they play the game. We have the power not to do that. And we have the power to not become reactive, which only reinforces the narcissistic parent's view that you're the immature one and you're not as grown up as they are. You're the crazy one. And that's so often a narcissist's game. They will be unreasonable, ridiculous, illogical, and then out of your frustration, you will become reactive, and then they will point to you as being the crazy one. Staying with calmness, speaking in a matter-of-fact voice. And that's very important for us to not become the crazy one, because that's a game they wish to win. Your parents may say to you, yeah, but you were always such a difficult child growing up, justifying their own parental choices. And staying calm with a matter-of-fact voice, well, with everything that went on, I could see why I might have been difficult, Mom and Dad. We often shed our power by needing them, so we have to work on not needing them. Hoping for a Hallmark family, we have to work on letting go of our family fantasies. Using them and others to relieve our loneliness, or to give us some self-esteem, which, by the way, self-esteem comes from the self, it doesn't come from others, but give us some self-esteem when we try to get that from others. This also, we will power shed because we're wanting others to relieve our feelings or relieve our inadequacy. And particularly if it's a narcissist, then it becomes a real mess when we try to do that. By discarding ourselves and not doing our self-work, Because you can do trauma work, you can do codependency work, you can do body work, you can do cognitive work. We also must do self-work, and that's the work of self-differentiation. We also shed power by not considering ourselves, not defining ourselves, not regulating ourselves, and not becoming authentic. Or keeping secrets is another thing we will do. And, when I say be authentic, for those who are adult children of narcissists, I'm not talking about, okay, well, now I'm going to give TMI, too much information, to the narcissist. That's not what being authentic is. Being authentic is living out of what you truly believe is the way it is and the way it was. That's being authentic. It doesn't mean sharing overly too much information with toxic people. Their shame shedding, the narcissist shame shedding, squashes our sense of empowerment and our sense of self. We want to begin to refuse to be ground into the ground. We want to begin to view what they're saying and believing is nonsense. It's nonsense. We want to feel less and think more when we are around them, because oftentimes the system will manipulate your feelings. They'll manipulate it. The system, emotional system, will manipulate your feelings. And so we want to be careful to try to think more, observe more, rather than absorb more when we're around them. Remember, they can't rationalize or be objective about themselves or the past because the personality disorder won't allow them to. If they did become logical and rational, this would bring the whole house of cards down, and it would bring that down around them. And that's why they must maintain this illusion and distortion about themselves. We want to stop giving our power away and shedding power through overfunctioning. That is a power shedding. Being too empathetic is a power shedding. Protecting the parent's integrity too much is power shedding. And leaving ourselves in the dust is power shedding. I hope you'll sign up for the workshop on February 6, 2021, and join me on Saturday, that Saturday this year. And I hope you'll subscribe to this YouTube channel. Join the YouTube channel as a paid member. And please check out my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts because I put quotes and information up there. You can go to my website. Also, if you're looking for help, contact us. I want to thank you very much for watching today. I hope you have a great day. And be wise.